I never wanted to do this at all. I really did not think of making this live stream as of now, but, and this is a big but, um, we need to talk about a lot of things that is going on in the past, that is going on in the present. Before I get any, sites of crazy academics, all that kind of jazz, this is only a pilot episode. I just want to test this out and see how people react to my, opinion, basically. So, yeah, let's get this started, shall we? I think that grifters stink. I said it. I mostly will try to explain this as best as I can, but for right now, try and not put a pin to anything, because I am not willing to go back on my terms. No, just all out, fall out, no. So, back in the early 2020s, or at least I think, no, it's 2021. I definitely was in my drama bubble at one point about the whole Falconic Chaos incident, where I retardedly say, thank you so much, Falconic Chaos, and all that kind of jazz, and just, I was stupid and a maniac because I honestly thought that, he was a good person. He honestly knew what he was doing, and I didn't care about Misanthropony because Misanthropony is a terrible critic. He doesn't understand how criticizing works, and he just, rage baits every time, like Disney comes out with this film or Disney comes out with that film. Star Wars is crap and all that kind of jazz. And it's not my personal business to say whether or not I condone this or whether or not I appreciate this kind of stuff. No, it's the fact that a lot of people say that it was my fault that I rallied up Misanthropony into this, and I also rally up Falconic Chaos into my mess, as well as Lio Convoy. When in reality, Lio Convoy is mostly also a maniac too. He doesn't understand YouTubers, and he barely talks about, positivity on his channel. He always talks about negativity and going after predators, which, unironically enough, is kind of dumb when you think about it. But it's not that Misanthropony is definitely, the type of guy that would just go out of his way and be an ableist. No, it's the fact that Misanthropony just doesn't care about the end product, or doesn't care about this, doesn't care about that, doesn't care about the significance of something, and always goes out of his way to just just immediately snap and just rage bait every time he sees this kind of stuff. I don't condone him as a grifter. Matter of fact, I think there are far worse people out there around the world other than grifters. But overall, yeah, I don't see this as an issue in some way, shape, or form. He's an ableist and a rage baiter. I'm not going to lie about that part. But the one thing he never did was attack Cartucci. A young YouTuber that is trying to get off the map. And the way that I see Cartucci as this kind of person is that he's a young, talented guy. He knows what he's doing. The problem is that he got sidelined by everybody. He has some major collabs. I won't forget about that part. He's a part of the cartoon community for the slightest of sounds. But overall, I don't think that many people care about the cartoon community, or rather, they want to care about it. It's just that it doesn't work that way. Say, for example, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, the worst show of history. Look, I know there's going to be a lot of bronies to say that that show is amazing. Gen 4 is the best. But, it's just for girls. Like, honestly. When you think about it, Miss Pony is the only person that got into My Little Pony in 2011. I know there was Josh Scorcher, Lily Orchard, all those people, and even Silver Quill and Dr. Wolf, all those people. And I just don't care. I don't care about the end product, and I don't care about the I don't care about the significance of trying to sell a product. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love Transformers. I love stuff that is made for boys. I'm technically a man, so technically I love boy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I was born that way in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Don't start trying to gaslight me into this. But yeah, you can understand that not everyone is going to be social about, oh, you like Marvel comics and all this geek stuff. Because, like, yeah, you can understand that there's not a lot of geeks that want to be into this kind of stuff, like Marvel or DC, for example, because it feels like a cartoon. Okay? I I don't have any complaints about that one. But the reason why this is called the RantCast is because it's about me trying to rant on people that shouldn't even have a career in the first place. Like, for one, Miss Anthropony should not have gained that many subscribers back in 2011, all because he talked about My Little Pony. That was the one thing that he was famous for, is talking about movies and My Little Pony. That was it. And that was all that he had to do in order to gain that many subscribers. Now, granted though, I'm not one to say that I want to do cartoon reviews because, again, cartoon reviews do not get that many views. And the less I say about those, the better. Honestly, I think it's about indie animation and gaming that is what gets the views. And that's current. That is actually current. I didn't know this at first, but apparently there is a quote unquote digital circus, the Amazing Digital Circus film coming to theaters. And I'm like, why didn't no one tell me? Like, again, I am a big fan of indie animation, no doubt about it. I love me a good Hell of a Boss, if it was written well, and not written by Pop. But still, you can't deny the faculty that if there was a Hell of a Boss movie that was promoted from Level Up Expo right now, would you guys see it? Would you guys be entertained by it? The answer is simple. The answer is no. Because, again, not everyone is going to apply for that sort of thing, and not everyone is going to admire it. Because, again, the end product is stupid. Like, okay, for example, Miss Anthropony is literally Brandon Rogers 2.0. He screams in his videos. He gets mad a lot. He's basically Brandon Rogers if he wasn't like Mexican or something. I don't know. But like, what really triggered me the most is that he stated from like Doug Walker's like nostalgia critic review of the Christmas episode. I don't know which one it was. I think it had something to do with like Rachel or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was like the Nutcracker. But still, he pretty much said that's like emotionally manipulated for you. Do you not know why I sided with the Volcanic Chaos in the first place? The reason why I sided with Volcanic Chaos was because Misanthropony was a bad person in general. He is insane, he is toxic, he is manipulative, he's a compulsive liar, he's a rage baiter, he's a grifter, all this kind of stuff, and you just don't understand why I sided with a child groomer rather than, side with a freaking rage baiter. Because, like, again, I'm not one to side with groomers. That's never going to happen ever again. I promise you. But that was the top priority on my channel that got me views was because of the drama at the time. Sure, I did had dip in the views a little bit, but overall, people were talking about me. This was a big deal, and I just didn't care about the end product. And nobody else should either. But yeah, in case you don't know, I'm planning on getting a new laptop in the future, probably in the 2030s, maybe. I don't know. This laptop is dying, and I just wanted to put it out of its misery. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I do have a desktop, but that thing only shuts off like the power button. Like I can't automatically let it turn off and all that kind of stuff. No, because again, like I also have the flashy uh LED keyboards and stuff like that. So even if I did want to play games, yeah, that's not going to happen ever. My point is that if you like something, that's fine. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. But if you're going to make an opinion on it, at least be honest about your stuff. Don't try and rage bait your audience and say that this is the best, this is the worst product in history. Because, like, no one says those things. No one literally says those things. And you're basically turning into a fucking grifter at this point, the Santo Pony. Now, I know he goes by Diaz Station, but I want to be consistent. I don't want to be like, dead naming or anything like that. I don't want to like try and do the whole transgender, transphobic thing because, that kind of stuff. Because I know there are trans people in the My Little Pony community, I think. Whatever. But still, the bronies literally hate Miss Anthropony because, again, you kind of have this kind of stuff that really tears into my skin, and it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. I'm gonna be honest with you. It ain't fun to have somebody out of your way to just do this kind of stuff. And I should have sided with Jar, not Falconic Chaos, because if I were to just side with Jar, then that would have been okay at the time. Before Jar came out as like, you know, I wouldn't say like a fan of Mary Sue's or whatnot. I'm just saying like he's a bigot. Like that's just my thing. Like before Jar came out as a bigot, he made this video called Invincible with his editor, the professor, and Miss Anthropony in general. And when Falcala Chaos made his video, Miss Anthropony responded and everything went down. Lyle Convoy was involved, Serafina was involved, Miss Anthropony was involved, like I was involved. All this just came to one crashing down moment after another, and that turned into something called a nightmare. And no, I will not try and participate in those ever again. Because again, you can't deny the faculty that everyone is going to understand the possibilities. And that's just kind of like what the end product is. Because the end product is just a coping of manipulation, lying, and architectures that kind of like makes no goddamn sense. So, in terms of like what Miss Anthropony said in his video, where he's pretty much like saying he's deleting or not deleting his channel, I think he was supposed to make a promise of no more hateful videos or something along those lines. Like he promised his father, his dead father, and apparently he broke that promise. He never learned his lesson. I will leave a link in the description of this chat. I can't leave it in the video because again, this is a live stream and I can't do that. So overall, yeah, so by the end of the live stream, I'll probably leave the links in the chat in case anyone wants to see those videos. I recommend you try and watch Cartucci for the very first time. Because if you haven't watched Cartucci's content, he definitely needs more views and definitely needs more subscribers than I do. And that's just kind of like what it is. I don't want to say this much as say you only hate Miss Anthropony because he blackmailed you from YouTube. And, well, not blackmailed, blacklisted you off of YouTube. And I don't want to say that's true in some way, but I didn't want to be involved with the drama anymore. So I said I was sorry to Miss Anthopony, and people forgave me. Because, again, I am John Tron in the internet service. So, again, if John Tron said something stupid and he apologized for it, the internet just somehow happily just, agrees with the apology and they accept it. Do you see the problem? That's the thing. Honestly, when it comes down to it, we gotta talk about big name YouTubers. We gotta talk about YouTubers that I don't want to talk about right now. Anyways, look, just note that not every YouTuber is going to be effective by this. Not every YouTuber is going to be into the drama community or into the commentary community or whatever community you freaking people worship. No. I really think that not everyone is going to be participating in those kinds of things, or rather, they're going to participate in it no matter what. And that's just kind of like what it is. That's been around that for ages and decades for the internet, and that's how it is. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that say that, well, John, why can't you just stop making these kinds of videos and just go on to play video games? Because I rather have a dedicated gaming channel than a dedicated dying YouTube channel. Does that make sense? Yeah. But then again, what is educational nowadays when it comes down to profitable margins, teaser trailers, merchandise? Like, what of it is actually that far understanding? Like, okay, if you think things fourth dimensionally, it's basically like a boomer bait scam. It's basically like a scam to your audience, and you mostly wasted everyone's time. And that's just kind of like what it is. You can't think things fourth dimensionally and say, "Oops, my mistake." Like that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. That people have said in the cartoon community that it has a child problem. And I'm not going to argue about it. I never cared about that many cartoons in a long time. Hell, I never even watched that many cartoons ever. The only cartoon movie I've seen recently is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And hell, that was made for children. It was a PG film from Illumination. You're not going to see an animation film that makes rated R or PG-13 films. Like, it's not going to happen because, again, there's never been single animation films that were rated R and pretty much did this and that's it. Like you're never gonna see a rated R like animated film in your life because again, those don't exist in the time of the 21st century. And if you manage to find a movie that is like a rated R film and it was animated, then oh boy, I definitely feel jelly. Like I feel very, very jealous that this person saw this film and they actually liked it. Contrary to popular desperate belief, yes. So I'm trying to get to an hour mark here. I don't want to like waste anyone's time here. But yeah, Solo. I try my best to see the point. I try my best to see the point in people that see what they see, or rather, what they try to talk about. Because by the end of the day, why bother going through all this drama when in reality you can just fix it? And yeah, there's going to be a bunch of people to say that you should fix this or fix that. And I definitely agree. Not everyone is going to appreciate your work. And that's sort of what it is. I've watched Miss Anthopony's video on Doug Walker for the first time. and I had opinions on it. I think everyone else does have opinions on these types of things. And Magma Paints is just overall a grifter. She is a 100% grifter on Doug Walker, saying that he's a bad critic, he doesn't know this, he doesn't know that, all that jazz. But you need to understand that Doug Walker isn't a professional film producer. Like he's just a critic that is trying to eliminate post-credit scene sequences that automatically breaks the internet for some reason. Like Rango is fine. I don't mind the review. I think there could have been points that would have been better put in. But there's never been somebody that made the video of Magma Paints of She-Ra, like talked about the Osmosis Jones video. How people say that Osmosis Jones is like Inside Out. Like how Inside Out was taking ideas from Osmosis Jones, which I don't see the point. I don't think anyone saw the point because Warner Brothers produced that film, Osmosis Jones. Inside Out was from Disney from 2015, or at least I think it's 2015. I have no idea. But still, I do not like rage baiters when they go out of their way to say stuff like this. Magma Paint, if you're watching this, please get a reality check because there's no reason for you to go out of your way to slander my favorite YouTuber, Channel Awesome, and Doug Walker in general, but still. And that's another thing. Why are many YouTubers responding to big YouTubers like this? Yeah, they managed to have some sort of problems, but what problems of it that they need to talk about? Like, what? Like, honestly, what? I'm not trying to say that everyone has a reason to understand this or a reason to understand the possibilities. But overall, it's stupid. It's really dumb. Like, you can't just go out of your way and rage bait over a big YouTuber because you're going after like smaller YouTubers and you're possibly a big YouTuber, all that kind of stuff. You're going after small YouTubers because of what they said about you and what they say about your stuff. I don't feel like I want to talk about this any longer. But yeah, still though, there there is plenty more episodes I want to do for the RantCast because again, not everyone is going to say the same things over time. I mostly would say that this is just a possibility. But yeah. Just to clarify that this is opinion based. This is not like, me completely rage baiting the entire thing. Like at all. Like if you feel mad about I'm mad about Star Giant Productions because she never reviewed this or he never reviewed that or blah blah blah. But that's because Ryan is an idiot. Ryan doesn't know animation. There are plenty of YouTubers that know way more about indie animation than just animation in general. Like, I honestly feel sorry for the people that try and do these kinds of things. And no joke, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to go out of my way and say that this is just, gatekeeping or all that kind of stuff. I have no idea what gatekeeping is in general. Like, if anyone tells me in the chat, I appreciate it. But yeah, still though. One thing is clear is that when you think about it, everyone's going to disagree with you no matter what. No matter what the causes are, no matter what this happens, everyone's going to disagree with you no matter what. With what you say, or what you do, or what you think. Because that's just how the internet is. That's the power of the internet. Boy, oh boy, that is just not fun when it comes down to these types of, social inactivities that are not fun. I'd rather just play Minecraft, to be honest. I'd rather just be Leafy at this point, or Keemstar, because both of them play Minecraft. But yeah, overall, let's just not. Let's not try and like start a war here because we're already dealing with this, and it's terrible. But yeah, overall, I might as well make it a conclusion here and there, just so that I don't have to tighten the video to an hour long. So, in terms of like what you see versus what they see, not everyone is going to agree with the points. They're just mostly going to disagree with every point you make. And I'm not going to bother with this one. Bob Iger knows what he was doing. He knew about the Disney live action films being like a success, like Alice in Wonderland. He's trying to capture that success again, and it doesn't work because that movie actually had a producer, Tim Burton, who knew what he was doing. Every time the live action Disney movie comes out, this happens, this happens, this happens. It is not Bob Iger's fault that he's doing this kind of stuff. And there have been plenty of YouTubers that I do want to make in the future for the RantCast, like Lily Orchard, Star Giant Productions, Cope and Seed, plenty of others. Plenty of others. Because if they want to be called out, they are definitely going to be called out. Because you can't stay silent forever and say that this is the only option available. No. Now, granted, though, I'm not going to call out Cope and Seed because, again, he is a very dedicated YouTuber. I think he knows what he was doing, and I would love to collaborate with him. I'm just talking about like YouTubers that shouldn't be bothered to be on the internet in person, like Pro Jared, for example, or The Completionist, or Butch Hartman, maybe. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out my cases. I don't know. Either way, I don't plan on making this my full series for this channel. Like, this is just a side series. If I wanted to make it my main series, I probably would just be an asshole. But yeah, still though. Let me just find the video real quick of Cartucci like car. Let me like get the link so that way God, I am just not happy. I am not in a good mood. Copy and paste. Link to his video. Oh. Alright, guys. Go ahead and click the link. It's on there right now. This is one of those types of YouTubers that should be on the internet. But yeah. Hopefully you guys like this video. Comment, like, and subscribe to the live stream. We are going to be planning on doing more of these in the future. And until then, thank you all so much for watching.